The end of the Ottoman Empire following the First World War left a vacuum of power in the Levant. Here, in this former Ottoman region, was the land of Palestine, settled by a diverse population of Christians, Muslims, and Jews alike. The power vacuum was quickly filled by France and Great Britain, who secretly drafted the Sykes-Picot Agreement of 1916, which proposed to divide the Ottoman territories between the two powers. This contradicted the earlier McMahon-Hussein correspondence between 1915 to 1916, which stated that the area of Palestine, along with all of the Arabian Peninsula, would become part of a new pan-Arab nation, should the Arabs agree to help Britain defeat the Ottomans. While this occurred, the influential Zionist organization had their own designs in the area. Even with the memories of Yom Kippur still fresh, an unprecedented moment occurred in 1978 at Camp David in the United States. Here, agreements were signed between Egyptian President Anwar Sadat and Israeli Prime Minister Menachem Begin, which led to a peace treaty and normalized relations the following year. Part of this treaty involved Israel returning the Sinai Peninsula to Egypt, which was finalized in 1982. Meanwhile, Israeli military rule over the West Bank transitioned to a semi-civil authority under the Israeli Ministry of Defense. Since its establishment in 1964, the Palestine Liberation Organization gained significant influence in the region. Its pursuit for Palestinian self-determination led to the Arab League officially deeming them the sole legitimate representative of the Palestinian people in 1974. Creating an objective documentary on the history behind these events is a daunting task for creators who want to convey the facts without bias, especially when information and disinformation is being disseminated so quickly through social media. An example of this is when Israel attacked the Al-Shifa hospital in November because the IDF claimed it was a Hamas hideout. Over 100 news sources reported on this, but chances are you just saw one headline about it. With our sponsor, Ground News, I can compare every single article on this story from a variety of sources around the world. Beside every headline is a rating for political bias, reliability, and ownership of the source. These are meant to be a guide, generated using 3 independent news monitoring organizations to give you an idea of the spectrum of coverage on the topic. Compare this left-leaning headline to this right-leaning source. In 2005, shortly after the suppression of the uprising, Israeli Prime Minister Ariel Sharon took a unilateral step to withdraw from the Gaza Strip. This evacuation involved dismantling all Israeli settlements in the Gaza Strip and 4 in the northern West Bank. The disengagement was aimed at improving Israeli security, reducing friction between Israelis and Palestinians, and advancing the peace process. But Israel still retained control over Gaza's airspace, territorial waters, and border crossings, except for the land border with Egypt, which is controlled by Egypt and the Palestinian Authority. Despite the disengagement, relations did not improve. The Gaza Strip instead came under the control of Hamas in 2007, following a civil war in the region.